EQ&Q Lifestyle Podcast. Hello everyone, big up yourselves. Man like me, Marcus. So yeah, we're going to do another thing. This is going to be another quick thing. But it's in the same vein as what we was talking about last time in terms of like the knife crime epidemic and all them things there and reasons leading up to it. So without further ado, I'm screen recording, by the way. And yeah, without further ado, we're going to get into Young Spray's, one of his trailers from season 7, episode 10. And yeah, I'll put it in the description anyway. So yeah, let's get into this. Oh. It's not having it.
I thought that the youths are stabbing up each other, innit?
You know what, yeah?
Let's talk about that.
You know what?
Let's
Do you know
talk
what? Can I
about
give
that.
you? You know what? To be fair,
Let's talk about that. It's all of us growing up.
we
These
can't
youths.
say that
all
we
the
didn't.
youths out there that are stabbing up each other. They're our kids.
You know
They're
what?
not our
though?
parents' kids.
Nah, but
let's
to be
talk
fair-
about that. No, I'm going mad.
No,
Let's
but
keep
to be
your
fair,
story.
as
But yeah, so like you're saying, it's our problem. It's not the oldest problem. Like, we've got our problems from our parents. These kids these days are our kids, our generation's kids that are tearing up the street. So what are we going to do? We have a responsibility. You get it.
just said, no, but I just said that to touch on it. Yeah. Remember, we would have looked like we was condoning a lot more things because of our age. Remember, 80s babies grew up late. I don't want to say it in that way, you know, but remember, we're young. We're young by heart, even though we look. When our parents had us, they looked like they were supposed to. When we was having kids, you was looking at them like, Lord, she look like a bit with all belly. You know what I mean? But we grew a generation that they had to see us grow up also. Because my daughter had to watch me. Because if I was 18 when I had a baby, when she was a certain age, she still watched me growing. Even in partner-wise, I wasn't going to be with her dad. She had to watch the whole concept of that. That's what builds concept now. That's why people think that's how things are supposed to grow. That's why we have to be careful.
Is she
on
still
what we're
patting with
putting
her
out.
dad?
Yeah, of course. You have to
Okay.
pattern with him, just not
Simple.
pattern with me. You understand what I'm saying to you? But that's another thing where we don't understand that even with that, it's a problem. That we need more
Togetherness.
households. We ain't got enough. We can't always preach to the little girl, if a man, you meet a man and you might get pregnant and then you're done and then you move on. We have to understand that we need to start dealing with issues in our household as well. It just doesn't go like that. Households work better when there's a family there, your mum and your dad. When you have
And we've already covered this a little bit, you boys. So, you know what I mean? I'm ahead of the curve and that, you know what I mean? But, you know, and we also spoke about how single dads are doing a good job as well, provide almost as much stability as a household with a mother and father. Yeah, in comparison to just a single mum. So yeah, we've covered that. There's already there. Have a look at that. I'll put them in the description.
to keep on going on like there's an outside child, this child over here, so that child over there, so you have to, even for the men, you're finding it harder to pattern your kids because you're not there. The mum is the boss in the yard because you're not in there. So who they turning to? Not the mother. So if she's not moving right, your household and your child is going to move like
Exactly.
But if you're not even with her,
Also, one thing that's come to me not too long ago is about like the hormones and stuff. Not just female hormones, just like when teenagers start getting their hormones, how that's all mismanaged, like at home, whether it's by mums or dads or whatever the caregiver is. Schools just mismanaging all that shit, like people's peers mismanaging all that shit. So yeah, I'm gonna look into it first, have a little, because I've got no idea about this, never thought about this, and then maybe it's a contribution to why single mothers, it can be a bit more tumultuous with them, because they're saying that the single dad provides like as much stability almost as a household that's got a mother and father, because like there's more stability in terms of, yeah, it's just a stable household, where the mum might be a bit more up and down. So if leader of the house is up and down. The house is up and down. That's how the house is. So obviously, hormone changes, monthly cycles and stuff, like bringing these concepts in and us understanding that a bit more, because it's just something that I don't really understand, and I think it is. I think it does need to be spoken about, raise awareness in terms of men understanding more. Because I'm understanding in the last 2 years since I've been out of prison, the female body more, like how mad it is to be a woman in a sense. Like I had no I knew they was on their periods and that. I don't really want to get into it too much because this is a different kind of pod. But I just knew they was on the periods and that, and just never really thought much of it other than that. Like that's that, they're on the period and that's as far as it went. Not all the. We'll get into it on the next one.
But it's not your household, isn't it?
So that's why the men have to
Okay,
pick
mad.
wisely. Cause I remember saying, man, pick their baby mother off a lust.
Not
You can't just pick your baby mother for your one night. It might be that one night I go ruin your life, got problems. You go with.
And it's refreshing hearing like a woman say that. You know what I mean? Like she gets it. Like the ones there.
That's what I'm saying to you. So yeah, we have to be careful. Like what you said, we have to. Might be it's because of us certain things, but we grew up we're still quite young at heart.
Do you know what? Because I done a tweet, yeah, and it was like, before you start criticising the younger generation, like...
Oh, man. Bro, I did not even think about adverts popping in about this. That's mad.
Who raised them, innit? Because I see like bare people like they're talking about the kids, the youths and all the youth them. These times it's our youths, not us, maybe not me, you or Cream, but our generation are raising these youths. They're young youths, they're our kids. Do you get what I'm saying? That's the maddest. They're not our parents' kids. They're our parents' grandkids. They're our kids. It's our generation kids that are going mad out there.
100%.
Do you get what I'm saying?
So basically, it's one of them ones in it where, like, especially our age group, which is what I'm talking to, yeah. We've been able to sit back and think, well, what are you lot doing? What are you lot doing? On about the older people and that and whatever, community leaders, people that are prominent in the community or whatever. What are you guys doing? Alhamdulillah. And guess what? It's our turn. Like, these youngers can look up at us and be like, well, what are you guys doing? Because it's us that should be making moves and that. Like, I'm thinking, are we the most inactive? Who in our community, in their like 30 plus, 35 plus range, are doing bits in the community like to make it better? Who's doing that now? Because I remember, like, especially Pittsmore where I'm from, I look out the window, pan Pittsmore. And there was a couple of community people about. I noticed two on my estate, actually, prominent out here back then. Calm down now, obviously, people are getting older now and whatever, and it is a pass the baton thing, because when they were doing it, like 30 years ago, like I said, when they were doing it, they were my age. Like, or maybe younger, maybe a bit younger than me. And that's what I'm saying, even worse. And then, what am I doing? Like, they're still looking like, trust me, there's something going on where like the babies, like, I think that like, those that have got parents that are in like the late 50s, 60s, they were like the last of the adults. And then us, we're adults by age, but not by personality or demeanour. Do you know what I mean? Still kiddified, still wanting gadgets and trinkets and bit and claw like you did as a kid kind of thing. It's not just like grin and bear it and get on. It's like we're just big kids that want toys. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, I don't want to go on a different thing. That's another pod.
And I say, and that's the truth.
It's 100%.
It's not our parents' kids. Like, do you know what I mean? Obviously, we went mad, but
We have
they're
to be
going
careful.
mad.
They're going proper.
Do you get what I'm saying? They're
It's
going
because
mad. The knives.
not knowing
they
how
don't
to
care.
deal with their emotions. We have to be careful.
Yeah,
We're not dealing
they're not
with
dealing with it like it. That's it.
Yeah.
your
The
emotionally
emotional
not
state.
dealing
You're not
with
emotionally
yourself,
quick to deal with certain
your
things.
emotions,
That's
so
why
your
everybody's
emotions-
acting all erratic and doing madness on.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think the older generation really knew about emotional management either. And that's why they haven't really taught us, because they weren't taught. So we can't put it on them because they weren't taught. I don't know where it stopped or started, but they weren't taught either. And then it's come down to us, and it's even less. And then obviously we're giving our people like even less, like, because we can't control our emotions or manage our feelings. Like, yeah. So we're just off-key, erratic. The kids, it's called learned behaviour. The kids are picking up our off-key erraticness and being that. and it's just translating into this mad stuff that we're seeing on the roads and stuff. Or even if they're not road people, like even if they're just like super rebellious, I see a lot of people that are super rebellious right now. Like it seems to be just like pockets here and there, and that just seems more widespread, along with the child mental health, along with the this, that, and the other. Like, but it's come from not everything, but a lot of it will come from us. But I don't think a lot of us can face that, because obviously it hits you hard thinking, oh, I'm a bad parent, I failed or whatever. But it's not about that. It's not about just sitting back in the shame and just like drowning in this shame pit. It's about, right, okay, I've made some mistakes. These are the mistakes I've made. If I did that differently, possibly this other outcome would have come. Okay, let me start making them decisions now. It always starts in the here and now. Like, what can I start doing now? I can change now. I can change doing things now. I can help these people change now. It can start at any time. You never passed it. Whether you're 20, 25, 30, 40, 60, 80, like you never passed it. There's no that, oh, there's no point now, I'm too old, or there's no point, like it's just too far gone. Like, no, that's the mentality that's got us here. But because everyone's just letting go of the reins. Everyone's letting go. Imagine that every person in the world, yeah, is just linking arms and you're holding back like an avalanche, yeah? But it's every generation, because obviously the next generation will come in front of that people, and when the people start dying, a bit of it will drop onto like us now. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's gone for like our parents, like, and certain people's parents will die, so it's onto us, and so it goes up and down in these two lines. Some of it's in the top generation that's still alive, and some's on the bottom generation. And then some are gone, other people, young people are gone, so it's just going, and then people are just thinking, oh, do you know what? This is a mad metaphor. People are thinking, do you know what? Fuck it, it's gone now, it's too far gone now, and I'm letting go, so my bit of avalanche comes down, and then they're thinking, fuck it, they're letting go, and everyone's going down, and that's the mentality, like everyone's just letting go, and it's just more avalanches dropping down. But no one's just thinking, you know what, let's hold on, let's stay solid, let's keep it together, do you know what I mean? Like, there's none of that. I'm ranting.
On the street.
And we can't
Do you
just
get
be
what I'm
erratic
saying?
out here.
Exactly.
Otherwise we're moving
but
like
we're
mad.
all, what you got to remember as well is our parents came from a different background. They came from the islands, came over here, they worked, they got their house, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We are part of, to me, a social experiment. You know, like when they started with all the housing and the council housing, and that you can only be a single parent to get benefits and all of those things. That is what is also responsible for the children that we have today. They're not just all going to put it on us. Do you understand? Because it's hard to fight something that you don't know that you're a part of. We had to learn that we was a part of it.
Accountability.
Of course. But
It's
but the ones that have done quite well was the ones that stuck on to, you know, like what their grandparents taught, and they kind of had that kind of structure, that type.
That's what I'm saying right there. Or right there or there or wherever it is on the screen, do you know what I mean? So I'll try and throw this up on the screen, it fucking better come up. But yeah, so that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, it's something that I wasn't taught, so I wasn't aware of it. I didn't know. Do you know what I mean? I've learned while I was on the therapeutic community. It's not something that they taught, it's just something that come to me. And because they taught me like certain principles, it tied in, it made sense to me. Like, because I had that like a knowledge base, so when these thoughts are coming, it's like, oh yeah, that links into that, and that moves on across to that, and it broadens it like that, and it's like, whoa, like what? Like, there's a lot of things just, I don't know how to describe it, like just activated or just come, like just made sense. A lot of things made sense. So yeah, to a degree I believe that as well, like the social experiment. I want to put it in those words, but I know what she's on about. I know what she means. So yeah, so it's just being aware of these things and then working with them. But it's only working with them if you was taught. So I've like kind of self-taught, but then I had somebody around me that knew as well. They knew already, but I needed to catch up. So when it clicked to me, I'm like, oh, when you're on about this, that, they're like, yeah, that's what I've been talking about, that's what I'm on about. Do you know what I mean? Like, boom, like, so then I could run with them now because I've caught up, I understood. Do you know what I mean? I used to hear what they were saying and be like, yeah, and kind of, but I just didn't get it. It wasn't resonating. I didn't understand. Do you know what I mean? So when it's clicked, and then with my bit that I've learned, and then them teaching me more, I was able to add to the conversation because I'm like actively thinking about it now. Like, oh yeah, what are you saying about that? And then I'm learning something else, or I'm seeking it somewhere else, or something else is just coming to me. Like I might just be watching a program or something, and I'm like adding to the conversation. Like, oh, well, I saw this and that made sense to what you were saying, and blah blah blah. And they're like, oh yeah, and then I'm helping them build as well now. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so it's just understanding like that a little bit, and that's the point of the podcast. Have these conversations, get this like knowledge out there, sharing knowledge, because I didn't just pick all this stuff that I do out of the blue. It was handed to me. Do you know what I mean? In terms of just conversation, just literally conversation. Like when I talk about the therapy, I think people sometimes think it was like a course or something. We sat down writing. We didn't sit down writing, bro. We just sat down talking. But you had to remember what you were saying. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's when it's making sense. And you're talking about it to more people, and people are helping you elevate mentally. Do you know what I mean? Or cognitively, and vice versa. You're doing the same for them or whatever. So yeah, mad. But yeah, let's get back into it.
Per moral compass, they went Sunday school or wherever.
Oh, sorry, yeah. So like having that structure from like above, like she was talking about grandparents, parents, and then like us or whatever. Like having those things passed down. Do you know what I mean? Having that knowledge passed down, like how to act, how to cope. Like a lot of people just can't cope these days. They've got no coping mechanisms. That's why the mental health is out of control, because they don't know how to cope with that feeling or that situation. So anxiety is through the roof. Like if you think you're going into a situation that you don't understand or you don't know, your anxiety is, do you know what I mean? And then it's like it's translating over. People are living so much in that anxiety, like by dwelling on things and ruminating to death. It's like they're in that stressful environment already. And then it's like, because they're in this state, this feeling all the time, they'll go into another situation with this feeling, and because something kind of half a little bit goes wrong, they might get like another bit of a feeling like embarrassment, but that, like little pinprick of embarrassment, almost like a fucking being stabbed with a spear. It's a spear-sized embarrassment because you're already feeling a feeling, so it's exacerbating other feelings. You know what I mean? But it's got no, and then you don't want to do that thing now. You're slowly cutting off what you're doing. You just stay in your yard, which makes you more. Staying in your yard is one of the worst things you can do. Because then you become, I forgot what the word is now. But you become like even more anxious and like depressed, because for when you're not getting that social like connection, that through being around people, so then you get be depressed and lonely and stuff. It's probably just like loneliness, really, and sadness. And then you start to like, because you don't know what people are thinking, because you're not around your people or whatever, you start to make up your own narratives. So then these narratives that you're making up become like your beliefs, and that's what you believe's happening. So if you believe something's happening, it's real. If you believe that someone's nicking off you, you might just be literally misplacing things and not realizing, but you think that person, someone's robbing off you. So then you start looking at that person like that they're robbing off you, and you construct like, well, they must be doing it when I'm over here and I'm doing that and da. So yeah, it's true. You haven't got that thing no more, or those things no more, or money's going missing or whatever, but it's you misplacing it, it's you losing it for whatever reason. And then you think that person doing it, and you might find it, you might find your money, you might find that thing, and then you think, oh, you might even, but then again, your conspiracy theory might even carry on more, like this delusion that you're building, this imaginary world that you're building, might be like, oh, well, I think they're trying to make me out to be mad, they're putting it there. It's mad. Yo, listen, I had a bad boy conversation with my boy yesterday. He spoke about his own mental health, and then he linked two things up for me. I'd love to get him on the pod, but I'm not too sure. But I might holler at him today to see, yo, what you saying about like telling that story. But yeah, I don't want to digress too much. Let's get back into it.
The religion they was. So do you understand what I'm saying? It builds a different type of character within you.
Yeah,
that
because
is why there's
popular
men
people go
missing.
through different things.
There's men walking around, but they're not men. Because when you know what it takes to be a man, what is a man? Do you understand what I'm saying? The type of qualities that you're supposed to have. You will deal with the outside world.
I say that I wasn't a man. So I went to jail at 27. And I was just a 27-year-old, 18-year-old. I'd become who, like my maximum, this decus, this reputation, yeah, at 18. So that was like my zenith in that life, yeah. And it slowly came down, but it came down and I was half aware, but I didn't really want to face it. But it kind of moved across really. So I'm just like at this peak at 18, and then it was like 19, 20, 21, all the way to 27. And I hadn't matured in any way, shape or form. It's funny, so I was literally just on my Facebook just then. I wanted to flick it on because it's going to come onto the screen share. And a girl was saying, listen, what'd she say? Friend request on Snap as long as my arm, or as long as your arm. If you've got a name that's got like big in the game, Mr. Moneymaker or something else in it, you ain't getting accepted. It screams street. And it says, don't men ever like mature or grow up? She says, change your name and something else, and I might reconsider. And it's mad because this is basically what I'm saying. Like, it's just, there's no maturing because you're in that life, and it's like you get into that life generally at a young age, and you just maintain that youngness forever. But that's not just the road thing, because that translates over to like what I've been screaming from like the very early like pods is about. Just because we're a certain age doesn't mean that emotionally we are our chronological age. Like, and it's not all emotions. So when it comes to your anger, you might be like a 6-year-old. Like, that's how you acted at 6 when you're angry, smashing things, throwing things out, shouting, nah, boom, 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 boom. Do you know what I mean? Like, storming about. That's what you started doing at 6 or whatever. Like, you know, your sadness might be what you're from when you were 3. You know, your flipping happiness might be, it might elevate a little bit. Like, it might be actually how you are at whatever age you are. Do you know what I mean? But you're like, on a scale, like, there'll be different ages for different emotions, but you can raise that through awareness. Do you know what I mean? Understanding like what you're feeling, like these feelings, like labeling these feelings, like what you feel, labeling it, realizing why you feel like that, and then what's made you feel like that, and are these things constantly making you feel like that? These constant situations, like, break it down to its like component parts or to its basicness, not like Shelley did this to Steve, and then when Steve did that to me, it made me feel like that. It's like when someone does something to someone, I feel like this. Do you know what I mean? Like, just keep it down to its basic parts. Like, don't have to go all intricate. And then think, well, where did I feel like before? Where were the earliest point in my life where I felt that? Do you know what I mean? And then it'll take you back there, and then it's like, then you can start thinking, right, so when I do feel like that, like, what's the outcome? Is it a positive outcome? Does it work out for me? Or do I go off a bit mad and like lose friends or lose jobs or whatever, or lose my mind? Do I revert to drugs or whatever I'm doing? Do I just leave people? Do you know what I mean? Like, do I just move back and like become a recluse or whatever? Then it's like, well, so what can I do instead? So when I feel like that, what can I do instead? When I feel like this feeling, I do that, and the consequence is this. Peel it back. When I feel like this, what else can I do? Do you know what I mean? You guys get it. You're smart.
Different. You will look at a woman in a completely different way because you respect what that person is. Do you understand what I'm saying? All those things are gone out the window. That's why they're doing certain things to girls. It's okay to attack girls, and you understand what I'm saying, and all of them things, because they don't have that in them. Do you understand?
I don't even think it's a thing of it's okay to attack girls. Girls have always been getting licked. Like, you lot are going on like girls ain't got licks in man's generation or something. I've seen girls get smacked up from school. Like, it's not. I don't think it's about that. It's a different. I think it's.
I believe it's completely different because I feel like it's different because everyone's desensitized.
Girls are getting it.
I would like to slightly disagree with Spirit there, because whether it's just reporting more or I see it more in the paper, the level of violence against women, like domestic violence, it's not just, I don't know, a slap or whatever, what I think's happening. You're gonna get proper Section 18. Like, that's what I've been going to jail for. Like, serious, to Section 18, someone's serious. Do you know what I mean? You've either, I think it's like split the skin, like drawn blood, or you've broken bones. Do you know what I mean? So, what's that about? Like, breaking a girl's bones, whether it's a jaw or an arm, like, or a nose, you know what I mean, or like stabbing, like cutting, like, that's serious crime, and that's what I see a lot of in the papers these days. Some mad stuff doing this, yeah. So I think there is an elevation in terms of everything's more violent these days, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Like how you explain.
I don't condone none of it, not even the other stuff that I'm kind of classifying as little stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's not little because obviously it's all the emotional toll and the psychological damage, not just the physical.
All of them. But like how you explained it, back in the day, you could have how they put it, a straightener, a fight. In this day, you don't have to have a straightener. So that means that you don't know much man and much girl that can actually have a fist fight with you.
Exactly.
The same way you said woman could hold licks might be, yeah, she want a buckstone. Yes, look how much girl we know, you know, from back in the day when we used to, we had a, but the facts of the matter is, that's how far it went. If you have to be using a knife now, that's different. So it's like the narrative changed. Back in the day, even how as a man, you had to fight. You could fight though, because people was known for that. Don't put your hand on Tyro in it. Because Tyro can fight in it. Don't trouble so and so, you know, because we know
No, what
because
it
they
is
can
now,
fight, you know. So you
what it
have
is
to
now
can fight.
is there's just a lot more people carrying, and that's all it is. Do you get what I'm saying? In our day, not everyone was carrying in it. Only certain man in it.
Yeah, and
Do you
look
get
at
what
the
I'm saying?
knife
Not-
them with the man them are carry
Yeah,
them
yeah.
time there.
Gangster tourist thing. That's what I'm trying to say. Listen, like this is.
Do you get what I'm
Flick
saying?
knife,
Yeah.
I feel
but
like
still
back
do
in the
you
day,
up,
ratchet.
yeah.
still do you up, but not everyone was carrying. You get what I'm saying? School time, but I'm saying now, for the youth, them everyone's carrying. Even the little dickhead youths, they're just carrying.
Oh my gosh, what have I been saying? What have I been screaming? What have I been screaming? Let's talk about that. Even the Muppets. Now, I'm not dissing the Muppets by calling them Muppets, but I'm classifying easily. Do you know what I mean? The Muppets, the Krillins, the Yamchas, do you know what I mean? Are just, if you know what I'm saying, you know, and big up you. But yeah, even the Muppets. Like, there must have been a, I didn't even watch it all, 'cause I wasn't really too interested in the outcome, because I must have seen it in a comment or something. But I was watching a guy argue with a girl. I think it was Manchester or something. And they stood on the street and arguing, and she's getting a bit, you know, whatever, yeah, Jeremy Kyle flicks. And I don't know if he had his hands down his trousers or what, or one hand, or maybe just quick drawed. But she's for a good few minutes or whatever, yeah. And then she swung for him. Bearing in mind, she's just a little, you know, 9 stone girl went through 10 stone. That's a marga little thing, you know. Like, what's she gonna do? She ain't Section 18, man. Like, the way she threw that punch out the blue, even if it landed flesh, she might break the nose, because the nose is nothing. Do you know what I mean? She might cut the lip or run if your teeth are kind of, you know, she might knock them a bit loose or whatever. But she ain't gonna. It's not like a man is giving you a full blown whackers in the face. I don't know if the blow landed or what, but this man backed out a long kitchen knife and swung it at her, like almost. I think it was even like her head. But I think he chopped her thumb off. Long story short, bear in mind, this man, he looked like a Muppet. There's some little marketing, like not say Marga Man and Muppets and that, but he just looked like a Muppet. He's arguing with a girl on the street and someone's fucking filming it for one. Do you know what I mean? Come on. He's got a big kicking shank and he would cut off the girl's thumb. Like, it's hardly a boss. You know what I mean? But anyway, cut off the girl's thumb allegedly. I've seen it in the comments, you know what I mean? Because I had other things that I clicked off. I was gone. And I just thought, like, what? I just thought, if I was in that situation at them man's there's age and that, yeah, even though man's got the anchor malanka, yeah, there, why would I want to pull that out on her? I'd have karate chopped her or something. Even if it was in her arm. Like, I'd have moved her from here to here. Like, or whatever. Like, there would be no need to... Muppets, man.
Car. Dickhead youths weren't carrying in our day. Do you get what I'm saying? They
Not
weren't
just
even
like
on
that.
that. Do you get what I'm saying? But now dickhead youths are carrying. So it's like, and what it is now, like, obviously back in the day, allegedly, like even when man was carrying or whatever, if something's going off, it's not in man's head to punch man. Cause if you're carrying, it's in your head to do man up. That's your first thing. So where it is they're all carrying, the first thought is to do man up. They're not thinking to punch because they've already got what they got.
But to be fair, you know, remember, a cowardly stab is one of the worst ones where you can get in there, because remember, it's not everybody that's going to be face front with you to have a fight or stab you, you know. It's somebody that's going to do that sneakingly. So enough of the time when we was growing up, remember when there was a time when you could give someone problem and you keep troubling that person and that person to you isn't that guy. That same guy can show you something, because it's always when you see, because no, I'll be wife for that, but remember, it's always that person that says, wait till I come back. Or you see him run off. Most people don't want to have a fight with somebody and they run off a certain type of way and you did them a certain type of way, because you know that when they come back, you're not going to see them, because they don't have to just do it like how a stand-up person would do it.
Some people just run and keep running.
They're going to run and keep running, you
Some
know.
people just run and keep
they're
running,
going to
though.
do that. You can't pressure Sometimes
They don't come back.
pressure bust pipe.
Some of them don't come back, you know, man. Some of them don't come back. Oh, nah, they ain't come back, you know. Oh, nah, like, we have had a few run off and oh, nah, they ain't come back, you know. But I'm waiting for them. If they come back, if they come back, man's there for it. You get me? But I think they might still be running still. You get me?
So you
Cause
you know, I
nah,
swear.
they know what I'm going. They know it's gunshot. But I know I'm going, man.
Yeah.
I'm going, man.
But anyways,
Okay,
so
man.
where were we?
They're running still, though. But yeah, boom. You get me? Not everyone
Just-
is thinking they can come back. You get what I'm saying? Not everyone. Trust me, not
Brain
everyone's
is
built for
moving
coming
mad.
back. But big up the ones that are coming back. You get me? But,
Listen.
You got to come back.
yeah,
man.
big up the ones that are coming back. But man's still
Nah,
here
don't
for
big
it.
up them,
You
man,
get me?
yeah.
If you feel like it, I'm going mad.
Yeah. Let me stop the screen record. Hey. Yeah, so just thought I'd just like put that on 'cause it's along the same narrative as the Mike GLC thing, and it's just one of the narratives that I'm going with. There is a next one actually where it's all the man's talking about the clout thing, that people are jumping on this thing to jump off it, but not jumping on this thing to jump off it. They're jumping on it because it's the topic now. But this is something that obviously is close to me. I've been to jail for knife crime. You know, I got slashed in the head and had like one little juckers in the leg or whatever. So I've been a victim of knife crime. I've been a perpetrator, whatever. But yeah, so it's something that means something to me. And obviously, I've done the jail for it. A decent sentence, public protection. You know, not me public protected the public from me. No, but yeah, that's what happened. They were protecting the public from me. I don't know if everybody who watches this understands sentences, but it wasn't just a quick, like, you know, get a sentence to half. It was a bit techie. But it was the best thing for me. Because if I got any less, I'd have been that same guy. If I'd have got any more than I got, I'd have been that same guy. If I had to do less, yeah, I'd have been that same guy. I've just said that, yeah. But if I got more, I'd have had to embed myself deeper into that like lifestyle to cope with the sentence. You see that? You know the ones there? Like, I'd have been on a different flex. But because I got like the Goldilocks, wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold or whatever, yeah? Because I got the Goldilocks of like sentences, like, alhamdulillah, it actually caused reflection and I just didn't know what to do, like. And then like, by chance, I must have said it bare times anyway about going to the TC and whatnot, and that being the best thing to happen to me. So this sentence was the best thing that happened to me. Do you know what I mean? So you can get like a positive from a negative. Big up, what's that guy called now? Some Bradford guy anyway, is on a similar thing still. Is things positive to negative, hashtag positive to negative, I swear it is. With 2 being a number 2, positive, number 2, negative. So check him out. Fuck, JustJah, or something. Yeah, but Yorkshire man doing this thing, that's it, I'm broke, you know. But yeah, anyway, back to the thing. So it's just a similar thing that I've been on about. In terms of, obviously it's a bit of a different thing. So he went on the emotional side. They touched a little bit on the emotional side and what drives people into this lifestyle. They're talking about obviously where responsibility lies. Like it's lying with our generation because it's our youths that are doing it. I haven't got youths that old. Do you know what I mean? Like my youth, I've got like no stake in it really, other than like the stakes that I've said, like I've been a perpetrator of knife crime, I've been a victim of knife crime. So that's my stake in it and whatever. And obviously going through the support that I got and being able to move away from it, like calmly, like neatly, like it's done. I was in chat to my brethren yesterday and said, yo, it's done. He's like, raw, I can't even believe, like, yeah. But anyway, let me just click that. Click that. So that can done. But anyway, yeah. Yeah, so social factors in terms of like housing, social experiment, you know, the thing of like pushing the narrative which I've mentioned, I swear before. If not, it will come up again in another pod when I'm talking about like the parent thing, like where it was almost encouraged to be single, to be a single parent because you'll get money and housing. Like that was a driver. So now you know it yourself. Now most girl, they don't really work in terms of men. But a girl now, it could be a young girl, 15, 16, whatever, 16, I think you have to be to get your own yard. So 16-year-old girl, have a kid, she gets her own yard, all these benefits, calm. Like, don't have to get a job. There's nothing to say get a job. You need to stay with a man. Do you know what I mean? The man might have wanted the kid, might have not. It don't matter. That's a cash cow. That baby opens up a yard and funds, like cash. Cash money, mate. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's incentivizing almost singleness. And like we said, we've seen how these things knock on. So just say, is a 16-year-old girl, what's she going to do to cope? Who was her parents? Were they coping well? Did she get taught anything well? Then, you know, she's stressed, obviously, single. The thing, life is hard. Of course, there's going to be extra stresses around. Do you know what I mean? Not with a guy, that's an additional stresses, whatever, especially if it's like a nasty breakup or whatever, or just whatever. Whether she's on substances or not, like... and then obviously the stress of having a baby, being on your own, isolated, lonely, where's your mental health at, what you're doing, how are you coping. You might just be breeding more shame within yourself that's making you feel worse and worse about yourself, so you're doing more and more mad things, you're bringing men in and out, whatever. This is all just a hypothetical, just example, because there's more, we can pick from more women than men because obviously women get the kid. I've got a theory about that as well, but we'll talk about that in the next pod. Bare pods, it seems, but I never end up making them. But yeah, what else? And then, you know, she's got poor coping, basically. That's what my point is. And then as the child's getting up, learn behaviour, see mummy stressed, she's voicing the stress. You know what I mean? She's cussing on the phone to her friends. She's got her friends around. They're all stressed. They're all cussing out, like, whatever. Do you know what I mean? The kids are learning these cuss out things. And then it's just, like, perpetuating the cycle. Do you know what I mean? And that's not to say that all single dads are good either. Because I bet there's plenty of people that can say, oh, hold on, my son or my brother or my cousin or my friend or my this or my that, like, they're no good, mate. So yeah, that's not being landslidey to men just being better. That's not the narrative one bit. Yeah, but anyway, there's something I'm sure we can do. And it's just raising our own awareness. We need to learn how to cope first things first. Like I said, that's the first things first. My next podcast actually will be on a bit more analysing my mental health. The crisis this time and the crisis last time. And what I did, what can be done. But I think that's going to be it for now. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Big up yourselves. You know, no disrespect. We can all do this thing. We can all move on. It's all got to come from us and we've all got to want it. Do you know what I mean? It's not just tuning in here. It's doing the additionals. You know, the ones there. It's watching other stuff. It's seeing bits that you like, expanding on it, reading upon it, being practical. It's all about the practical mainly. That's where the change is, because it's all habits, habitual, because it's what you're doing that's having consequences. Do you know what I mean? Even if you don't do anything, if when something happens, you don't do anything, that leads to consequences. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know anyone successful in life, yeah? Whether that's financially successful, academically successful, did I say financially? Like family, being successful as a family, if you don't do anything, if you can't, they've obviously done something. You can't not go to college or not go to school or not do your studies and be academically successful. You can't not tend to your kids, like whether male or female, and be a good parent. You can't like not go to work or not like pursue your like business idea and be like career or financially successful. Like, you have to do something. And it's even with the emotional and the mental stuff, you have to do something. If you just don't do anything, you will be in decline, just like the other things. Yeah, so that's it for this one. Big up yourselves. Apologies for it being late, but you know, we're all human. But we grind and we push on and we're trying to stay consistent. This is episode 50 as well, by the way. Like, comment, share, subscribe. It's me, Marcus. Thanks for watching DQQ Lifestyle Podcast.